Oh, hey there, Patrick Ta, Major Dimension 3 palette, the all matte palette and some creams. Are you ready to be reviewed and tested by me? Hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel, welcome back, Maryam here. And in today's video, I'm gonna be testing out the new Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 Matte Eyeshadow Palette. This is what it looks like. Pretty glorious to me. I like that there are 12 shades altogether, 2 of which are cream bases, a black and a brown, and there's a little lid that keeps it from getting contaminated. So this seems really, really pretty. I love all matte eyeshadows. I love an all matte eyeshadow look. I have high hopes for this, but of course in this video, I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna create a look that I don't yet know what it's gonna look like. But basically, I wanna determine whether this palette is worth the $70 price tag that is being charged for it. So if you are into this type of video, then let's hit it. Remember to subscribe if you aren't already, notification bell for those Wednesdays and Sundays videos. And now onto the review for you. Patrick Ta, Major Dimension 3 Matte Eyeshadow Palette. Here we come. Okay, so as you can see, my face is already on. I have my foundation, I set everything with powder, I even set my lids with powder. I am prepped and I am ready to go. I haven't conducted swatches yet, but I will at the end of this video, and I'll pop them up right now for you guys to take a look at, and you can pause there if you want to. For some reason, I just want to dip right in and I just want to play around. So apparently this is the third installment of this type of palette, the 12 pan, nice horizontal palette from Patrick Ta. They're all $70 each. The first one was a nude palette, I'll pop it up. Second one was like a rose gold, and both of those palettes had shimmery and matte shades. This is the first one that is all matte. Like I said, to me, it's intriguing because I love an all matte look. All right, let's actually get into it. Let's dip some brushes or some fingers into this palette and let's start playing. Sometimes I like to do a lot of talking before I actually try something out, but today's not that kind of day. It is Friday. I have high hopes for this palette. I want my look to turn out good, so I should re-emphasize I have high hopes for this palette. I'm looking for some sort of a dense synthetic brush to pack on the color. All right, I'm just gonna grab this Sigma Edge Precision brush. I'm trying to go for a wearable smoky eye. So I'm gonna start with this brown base. Just gonna swirl my brush in there. And although this palette has a mirror, I will say it's not the lightest palette in the world. I mean, it's not as heavy as the Danessa Myricks groundwork, but it's not as light as a mirror. So I like to use a handheld mirror. So I'm just gonna glide that across my lid. Ooh, that is very, very pigmented. Almost feels like Halloween makeup, like professional pigments. It doesn't feel too balmy though, which is nice, but I should have probably grabbed a little bit less product just so I can contain my smoky eye. Like whatever was remaining on that brush after that first swipe would have been enough for the first swipe. So now let's see what happens and how easily I'll be able to actually blend that. Ooh, girl. Okay, yeah, once again, a little bit goes a long way here. You do not need this much base, but of course I went all in. Not to worry. My specialty is making it work, so we are gonna make it work. And I still have very high hopes for this palette. I mean, it is Patrick Ta after all. And if you're not familiar with Patrick, he is a celebrity makeup artist. He works on a lot of models, a lot of it girls, celebrities, and I do like his products. Okay, so as dark and as crazy as this base first applied on, it is actually fairly easy to smoke it out with a brush like this, but the color is pretty intense, like I said. And although I was going for a very wearable smoky look today, it's gonna have to be a dramatic one, but we'll see. We'll see what can be done. I'm gonna take whatever's remaining on this brush, lightly surround my lower lash line. Ooh. I'm also kind of picking up any excess from this eye and then just dragging it. Okay. What's cool is that this cream isn't creasing whatsoever, but that tells me that it is a more professional type of eyeshadow base. So now that it's set pretty solid and matte, if you're feeling avant-garde, you could probably add a little bit of a lid gloss to it, and that could be a look as well. This is the type of cream that would probably resist any type of gloss on top. So if you're looking for a glossy lid, brown smoky, I feel like you could do that with this base. Okay. So now I'm gonna close that up. Thankfully there's a nice convenient little lid. And then I'm gonna need a somewhat dense, but kind of fluffy brush. So I'm gonna go for this Sculpt number 16. And I'm gonna dip into this light shade here. This is like a creamy, peachy pink. I'm gonna start working that into my brow bone and to also eliminate some of that darkness from my brow bone. I feel like that's doing the trick. By the way, if you hear any sort of noise in the background, that is because there is some construction happening downstairs, and so there's nothing I can do about that. Sorry, I live in the city, not in the burbs. Although we're looking in the burbs, but that's besides the point. Okay, that seems to have worked. So basically I kind of cleaned up a little bit of that edge and I minimized that brown spot or that brown base. I always like to add light directly underneath my brow. Because my brows are on the heavy side, they're pretty dense and dark. So I always like to add lightness right here because my brow already casts a shadow. So I like to kind of eliminate it a little bit. So I'm also going to dip into that white, which is right here. I'm going to just, whoa, that was a lot of white. I'm going to just gently pop that in there like that. Ooh, that looks so good with my shirt and with my hair and with my brown eyes. I'm feeling it. Now I'm gonna take a fluffy blending brush. This one is from Dose of Colors. I'm gonna go for, let's see, perhaps the next shade down, which is this one here. Notice also that all of these are warm shades and all of these here are cool. So there's a matte black and also a cream black. There's a cool brown. There's a cool taupe. There's like a slightly dusty rose, gray, and then a white. And then all of these shades are a little bit warmer. I'm gonna go for the warmer of the two taupes. To start adding that directly to my eye socket. Eye socket meaning the actual bone of my eye, not my crease, because my crease is significantly lower than my eye socket. Oh yeah, I'm feeling this. I will say a good smoky eye is all about that base. And it's hard to find a good base because a lot of bases are a little bit too creamy to withstand eyeshadows or the weight of those eyeshadows. So they cause them to crease, they mix with your oils. But this one, it's not budging actually. It seems to be quite perfect. All right, so now I'm gonna just continue moving down. I'm gonna grab this brown shade and now apply that just a little bit lower to seal in that gradient, like that. Oh yeah. Now for the final color, for the lid, I'm gonna grab the brown. I'm gonna just start adhering that to the base. There's a little bit of fallout with this one, as to be expected. This is a very pigmented shade, beautiful chocolate brown. So I'm applying this one directly to my lid, not too past the crease. I'm kind of just meeting with all the other colors. Not that you can tell. I'm gonna use the edge of the brush and just surround my eye with this brown, and then maybe clean up slightly with a clean brush. And now onto the other eye. Pressing that pigment down, meeting with those other colors. Honestly, this is very smooth. For how big and brown the smoky actually turned out to be, there's absolutely no harshness. There's no skipping, there's no dragging. That base is a solid base for a smoky eye. I knew I was gonna be impressed. I'm gonna take that medium brown shade, this one right here, and I'm gonna add that directly to my crease, kind of in between my eye socket and my crease, just to make the match a little bit better. I mean, that is very, very smoky. And maybe too smoky for me. So I'm gonna go back to this light shade. I'm gonna tone down the smoke. And I think that did it. I think that actually made it a lot more wearable. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. Just go in with that very fluffy brush. I'm not being shy with it. I'm just layering and kind of erasing some of that darkness, just like that. And then if I did too much, I'm just gonna go back to that other brush and bring it back to brown. Nice. So now for a little bit of a pop, I'm gonna go back to the white eyeshadow, dip this Rare Beauty brush into it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of a bright highlight right here, and then right here. Don't worry, gonna blend it out. I'm gonna take a small fluffy brush and I'm just gonna dissipate that. That was actually really, really intuitive. Even though I applied way too much base and I made the shape of the smoky eye bigger than I typically would want my smoky eye to be, I think I was able to make it work. And now I'm just gonna use some pencils, basically gonna dress this look up to complete it. All right, so I'm gonna grab the Lisa Eldridge Black Seamless Glide Eye Pencil. I'm gonna add that directly to my waterline, and I'm gonna close my eyes real quick so that it can get on the top lash line as well, because I personally hate tight lining, but tight lining in a situation like this does look good. I'm gonna add a little bit of that pencil on the outside part of my lower lash line, and then I'm gonna gently line my top lash line like that. Next, I'm gonna take a smudgy little brush. First, I'm just gonna smudge the liner just to make sure that it's nice and neat. I smudge this top lash line just like that. I'm gonna dip into the cooler brown and basically just seal that line in. Seal it on the top, I'm gonna seal it on the bottom. What do you think of my eye look?
Nice. Very folly, appropriate. Good for brown eyes. I like it.
There you go.
Good for blue eyes too, though, to be honest.
Or green eyes.
Or green eyes.
Any color eyes.
But I also like the look you did. The looks high quality. doesn't look like cheap. You could actually, it looks expensive, the makeup.
Thank you, expert. So the video cut off, as it always does. But thankfully we got a little bit of commentary from the swatch model. Sorry, as always, I'm eating my aligning gummies. I gotta say, this does look very, very sultry. I like it. It does look really, really high quality. The blending looks impeccable. I can't complain. I haven't done a smoky eye in a minute too. So now I'm gonna curl my lashes. I'm thinking that for such a dramatic smoky eye, maybe falsies would be appropriate, or maybe not. I don't know. For my mascara today, we have the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. How perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and use that, though the wand seems to have really, really short, tiny bristles, which to me isn't ideal for smoky lashes. I don't know if you guys can see my lashes. This might be really good for the lower lashes, but for the top lashes, it's a little light. So I'm just gonna grab my CoverGirl Cleantopia. Extreme black, as always. This one is the one. I just like that it applies a maximum amount of product quickly so that the first coat is always, always visible. And honestly, just one coat is enough for me. Because my lashes are on the shorter, straighter side, I don't necessarily want to weigh them down with too much product, you know? All right, so now I'm just gonna add that to the lower lashes as well. That's really the only time I apply mascara to my lower lashes is when I'm doing a smoked out lower lash line. Just feel like it helps with the smokiness. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add that Cleantopia on top of the Bobbi Brown just because I think it's a better mascara. She is looking and feeling kind of vampy. This type of smoky eye, I feel like it makes my brown eyes look more brown, and it makes the whites in my eyes look so much brighter, which is an unusual effect because it is so dramatic. It almost makes me look more intimidating. I don't know if you guys sense that or not, but it's definitely a grown-up, mature kind of look. I'm gonna sweeten it up with a bit of my Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush, shade Pretty Peach. I just want to add a little bit of warmth and luminosity to this look. Not too much, still keeping it kind of nudie and natural, but just a pinch. I'm also going to add my Catrice highlighter because the eye look is so matte. I just want to have a little bit of luminosity, at least on the face. Yeah. And now for the lips, TREVOR X Dose of Colors. Already wearing my Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Lip Liner in Hot and Spicy. And then for the lips, I just want a little bit of sparkle. I think this is perfect. Final look, very sultry, very grown and sexy, but I like it. How about you? This was one of the easiest palettes I have ever used for a smoky eye. If you love the smoky eye look, then this is the palette for you. I love that it has an equal amount of warm to cool eyeshadows. I love that they're all matte. And of course you don't have to go as far as I did with this big, super blown out type of smoky eye. You can keep it much more constrained, much more in the crease, so to speak. And of course you could use all the different bases. I would have probably loved to have seen a taupey, like a cooler, smokier eye base, just so you can have a little bit more fun with a lighter smoky eye. But for that, you probably can just skip the base. You can just use the powder eyeshadows to achieve whatever look that you have in mind. Of course, you could also play around and create shadows and do cut creases and do whatever it is that you want to do with this type of eyeshadow palette. Honestly, I think this was pretty outstanding. Definitely feels luxurious. All of the eyeshadows feel extremely buttery, really, really easy to use. There's minimal fallout, and whenever there was fallout, it didn't stick to my base. I was able to easily remove it. I gotta hand it to Patrick Ta and his team. This is amazing. Granted, I haven't tried any of his other palettes before. I know this is actually my very first time trying one of these Major Dimension eyeshadow palettes. It's a hit with me. I am a fan. I definitely want to get my hands on the other two just so I can have the full collection. So that is my review. That is my story. This is my look, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this palette, whether you've purchased it, whether you have used it before, whether you have other Patrick Ta palettes. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. Let's talk, let's have a conversation. And for now, I am gonna zoom on out. I'm gonna invite you to check out more of my videos over here. Peace out, I'm out, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces!